U.S. President Donald Trump has deployed 800 National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. to crack down on crime and homelessness. He also demanded that homeless people move out of Washington immediately and put the D.C. police under federal control. Trump said this earlier before declaring a public safety emergency in the nation's capital.
It's becoming a situation of complete and total lawlessness. Caravans of mass youth rampage through city streets.
The city's mayor, Muriel Bowser, has rejected the president's claims about crime, and while there was a spike in 2023, statistics show that it has fallen since then. Violent crime in the city is also at a 30-year low. D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab has also called the administration's actions unprecedented, unnecessary, and unlawful. So, what's next? The president must notify Congress within 2 days if he plans to take control of DC's police, but he can only keep control for up to 30 days under local law.
We have some extremely serious news right now. According to Reuters, the United States Air Force is denying early retirement to all transgender service members between 15 and 18 years of military service, and instead is opting to force them out of their jobs with no retirement benefits, despite the fact that they earn these retirement benefits. Donald Trump has been working to bar all transgender individuals from serving in the United States military. And now the US Air Force is trying to push all of them out, despite them serving the nation with integrity, grace, and dignity. And according to Phil Stewart, the fact sheet that was sent to Reuters, well, it's crazier than you think. And potential answers to the question, quote, how do I tell my family we are not getting retirement benefits? The proposed answers: focus on the benefits you do retain. Emphasize that this doesn't reflect on your service or character. Military and family readiness can provide counseling resources. Spread the word so more people know, because more people need to know this story. And follow along to stay updated on all the news you need to know about. I'll have much more to come soon.
Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So you guys saw the first clip of this video. The president Donald Trump has made it illegal that homelessness is now a crime. Yeah, so currently it's not valid. It's not valid for anyone to start sleeping outside or sleeping in a couch or even sleeping in the car. So it's now illegal. Is now illegal, and this policy is really going to affect a lot of people, because you guys can see that there are several people who are homeless. Yeah, there are several people who are homeless, both the indigenous of United States of America and both the immigrants. And the worst part of this policy is that this policy is really going to affect the immigrant, especially those that do not have a home, those that are undocumented, that do not have papers. Like, is really going to affect them. Yeah, I don't know that of the US. I don't know how their law is, but in the country where I live, like, if you do not have paper, if you do not have documents, you cannot rent a house, because before renting a house you must have your complete papers. And if the immigrants who do not have papers, how are they going to get a home? How are they going to get a home? I think this is really going to be difficult for them if that is the same law in the US. And what about those people that are unable to work, those people who are sick, those people who have been drug abused, drug addicted, and all of that? Like, how are they really going to survive this economy, this administration? Yeah, I don't know the reason why Trump passed this law, but nevertheless, maybe he have genuine reason for doing this. Who knows? Yeah, well guys, welcome back again to another episode, and so good to have you here. So you watch the mini clip of this video and let me know what you think about them in the comment section, and I will be coming back with more commentaries.
So this morning, Donald Trump held a press conference about this supposed increased crime that is happening in Washington, D.C. But I do want to point out that somebody asked Groke over on Twitter about the crime, and this is what it had to say. Apparently, there's one very specific individual who holds the highest amount of felonies in the entire Washington, D.C. area, and he resides at the White House. So that's just a little fun fact for y'all. But Donald Trump, in all seriousness, did state that he was going to federalize Washington, D.C., bring in National Guard, and take federal control of law enforcement. So he did also mention that he was going to be getting rid of sanctuary cities as well. He did not put a timeline on that, but he did bring it up. He, of course, had to bring up how the left is pushing transgender ideologies onto children and how he won in a massive landslide and has a historic mandate, because it wouldn't be a Donald Duck speech without him repeating all of the same things that he has been saying for the past 6 months. We knew this was coming, guys. We have said this. This was in their plans. We have expected this. Now, unfortunately, we have to sit back and watch and see how the National Guard move forward. I will report on this later today. I'm sure all the left-leaning creators will be doing the same. So time will tell. Try not to freak out about this. Again, we saw this coming. We knew it was coming. If you are in the Washington, D.C. area, please stay safe. Okay, that's all I have to say is please stay safe and know your rights. Get a constitution if you do not have one. That is probably one of the most important things right now, is to have a pocket constitution. Do not get one off the internet.
On July 24, 2025, Trump signed an executive order called Ending Crime and Disorder on America's Streets. But don't let the title fool you. You guys, this is much deeper than you think. It's about removing people by force if they're poor, mentally ill, disabled, or simply look like a problem. Yeah, the order targets anyone showing what it calls, in quotes, visible signs of vagrancy or disorder, end quote. Now, what does that mean? It means if you sleep outside, if you carry your belongings, if you talk to yourself, if you wear old clothes, if you ask for help, if you look poor, that's all it takes now. But this is the part that we really should be talking about, okay? You don't even have to be homeless. This order opens the door to forced institutionalization of people with mental illness, neurodivergency, or substance use disorders, including people with ADHD, bipolar disorder, PTSD, or depression. Yeah, if someone thinks your behavior looks disordered in public, they can label you unstable and have you taken. But where do they take you exactly? It's not to housing or therapy. No. It's to state-run institutions, locked psychiatric wards, or treatment centers run by private contractors. The same kinds of places with histories of abuse, neglect, and zero oversight. Now, this executive order also tells cities you'll get federal money if you criminalize loitering, panhandling, or sleeping outside. And it tells the DOJ to reverse court rulings that protected unhoused people. It even weakens the Americans with Disabilities Act, because apparently public safety means stripping away your civil rights. And this is punishing people for how they look, how they think, and how they exist. And don't let them rebrand cruelty as order. We've seen this happen before.
Pete Buttigieg just called out Trump's DC takeover in epic fashion. Listen.
As we speak, the federal government is taking over the policing of a major American city, Washington, D.C. The president is doing this not in order to make the city safer, that's the job of local law enforcement, but to solve his own political problems. He needs to get his base talking and thinking about something besides his refusal to open up the Epstein files because he's mixed up in them.
Do you agree with what Pete Buttigieg says here?
You're not going to believe this. The mayor of DC, a powerful black female mayor, is giving a live press conference right now in response to Trump and J.D. Vance and Project 2025 making up all sorts of lies for the big headlines to distract all of America, that these liberal cities don't know how to prosecute crime. There's too many criminals on the streets. And she just made it a point to articulate that all of the prosecutors in DC are not elected. They're appointed by the Trump administration. And the judges, likewise, are appointed by the Trump administration. So if there has been any criminal that has not been held accountable, either in what they've been charged with or what they've been convicted with, it falls right square on the fucking lap of this inept administration. That is a huge detail that Trump and team did not share with the American people.
Yeah, in as much that I do not believe or support transgender, but nevertheless, these are people who has worked tirelessly. These are people who have served the country. These are people who has also contributed positively to the growth of the country. And I really do think that it is necessary for their retirement to be paid, and forcing them out of their job, like, oh my god, like most of these people are just going to be jobless. They are going to be jobless, and when it comes for them to pay bills and buy some necessary things, like where the hell are they going to get money? So talking about that of retirement, I think their retirement should be paid because they have worked for it. Yeah, they worked for it, and they deserve to be paid, in as much as they choose a different lifestyle that the administration do not support. Yeah, what guys, watch the remaining clip of this video and let me know what you think about them in the comment section.
Baghdad we doubled up on Baghdad. Panama City, Brasilia, San Jose, Costa Rica, Bogota, Colombia, heavy drugs. Mexico City, I mentioned, Lima, Peru, all double and triple what they are. So do you want to live in places like that? Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
Well, there you have it, folks. Donald Trump has completely taken over Washington, D.C. on a federal level. He has invoked the National Guard into coming in. 1,000 National Guard are going to be deployed into Washington, D.C. Right at the beginning part of that little video, you guys, he said all of those places are safer than Washington, D.C. The crime rate in all of those places are safer than Washington, D.C. Not only that, but he also ended up saying, and this speech is still going on, you guys, he also ended up saying this: Washington, D.C. is not going to be the last one. They are going to be going city to city, state to state, taking over on a federal level. It has begun.
Really cool news coming out of the largest socialist organization in the United States, the Democratic Socialists of America. At a recent national convention in Chicago, DSA delegates from across the country came together to vote on a resolution that would establish hardline anti-Zionist standards within the organization. The resolution essentially was inspired by and supports Al-Thawbit, or the Palestinian Red Lines, unifying principles outlined by the PLO in 1977 that include the recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Palestine, the Palestinian right to resist, and the right to self-determination. But what's really cool about this is that for the first time in the organization, organization's history, this resolution makes publicly and consistently opposing the BDS movement, taking money from pro-Israel lobbying groups, and supporting the transfer of funds or weapons to the Israeli project an expellable offense. And the resolution itself is actually very interesting to me because it essentially is a sort of restorative document. It doesn't punish people for ignorance, but rather provides mechanisms for education for people who might not know that what they're doing is wrong, and only really pushes for any kind of expulsion mechanism after they have just refused to understand or learn about what they're doing. But the resolution wasn't just really around that. It also really reaffirmed support for a lot of campaigns across the board: the Palestinian Youth Movement Mask Off Mayors campaign, the Palestinian Solidarity Working Group No Appetite for Apartheid campaign, as well as DSA's own Chevron campaign that they're going under. All of these things trying to put economic pressure on the Zionist entity. And I'm honestly really excited about this because, like, a little bit of lore about me, I am a DSA member and have been for a pretty long time. I was actually part of the original formation that put together, like, the original anti-Zionist resolution that failed at a convention years back. So seeing the work that so many organizers in DSA have done over the years and seeing this actually pass now is really cool. For me, it feels really awesome. It's just really cool. This is a culmination of years of work within the Democratic Socialists of America, not just by, like, myself, but tons of actors in countless chapters across the country, people who put in hours, days, weeks, years of effort to try to, like, make this a thing. Now, obviously, a resolution alone is not, like, enough. There's still a very long way to go, but this is a very good step for DSA and something that I'm genuinely very proud of. And now that this resolution's passed, I'm going to make the hard pitch. You should join DSA. This is an organization doing a lot of really solid work around the country, full of a lot of organizers who themselves are phenomenal individuals doing a lot of amazing stuff. People who have decades, oftentimes, of experience who can help you be a better organizer, but also help you do things in your community that you care about. So yeah, that's my pitch. Join me in DSA. But yeah, as always, free Palestine, Assalamu alaikum, and have a great day.
Breaking news: Trump must either deport his own family or resign as president. The U.S. Supreme Court has just delivered an unprecedented verdict ordering Donald Trump to obey the same strict immigration laws he created for America. After an in-depth investigation, the justices discovered that both Trump's and Melania's grandparents entered the country illegally, crossing the border without documents, just like the families targeted for years by Trump's own policies. Now, the ruling is clear. Unless Trump steps down, Melania and their children must leave the United States immediately. The justices declared, "Justice starts at home. You can't protect your own family while tearing immigrant families apart." This double standard is over. The message is simple: no one is above the rules, not even the president. Social media has erupted. Millions are in disbelief. For the first time, Trump faces the pain and uncertainty he caused for so many others. Share before it disappears. Justice at last starts at the top.
On July 24th, 2025, Trump signed an executive order called Ending Crime and Disorder on America's Streets. But don't let the title fool you. You guys, this is much deeper than you think. It's about removing people by force if they're poor, mentally ill, disabled, or simply look like a problem. Yeah, the order targets anyone showing what it calls, in quotes, visible signs of vagrancy or disorder, end quote. Now, what does that mean? It means if you sleep outside, if you carry your belongings, if you talk to yourself, if you wear old clothes, if you ask for help, if you look poor, that's all it takes now. But this is the part that we really should be talking about, okay? You don't even have to be homeless. This order opens the door to force institutionalization of people with mental illness, neurodivergency, or substance use disorders, including people with ADHD, bipolar disorder, PTSD, or depression. Yeah, if someone thinks your behavior looks disordered in public, they can label you unstable and have you taken. But where do they take you exactly? It's not to housing or therapy. No. It's to state-run institutions, locked psychiatric wards, or treatment centers run by private contractors. The same kinds of places with histories of abuse, neglect, and zero oversight. Now, this executive order also tells cities you'll get federal money if you criminalize loitering, panhandling, or sleeping outside. And it tells the DOJ to reverse court rulings that protected unhoused people. It even weakens the Americans with Disabilities Act, because apparently public safety means stripping away your civil rights. And this is punishing people for how they look, how they think, and how they exist. And don't let them rebrand cruelty as order. We've seen this happen before.
So, do you guys really think that the President Donald Trump would deport his own family who migrated to the United States of America illegal? Because I do not really think that that can actually happen. This life is just somehow, it just somehow. Imagine the President Donald Trump deporting illegal immigrant, saying that they do not want the illegal immigrant, and he forgot the fact that his own family years back once came to the United States of America without a proper documentation. So the masses are now saying that he is supposed to deport his own family, that he is supposed to follow the law, the street policy which he plays, because his family are also illegal. And you guys think that he is going to place this law on his family? Because I really do think that the rich people are above the law. Yeah, the rich people can get away with anything they do. Sometimes when a poor person does something and when a rich person does something, like the way the poor person is going, the way they are going to punish a poor person is going to different from the way they punish a rich person. Yeah, their treatment is going to be quite different, because money speak. These are people who have money, these are people who have powers, these are people who have authority, and yeah, they are the one making the law. They can make the law, they can ban the law, and they can, yeah, that is the way it is. Like, do you guys think that his family can be deported? To me, I think this cannot be possible. Yeah, in my own little understanding, I don't think this is going to be possible, because they are rich. Yeah, the poor people that they are busy deporting are people who do not have mouth, who do not have mouthpiece, people who do not have anyone to speak for them, people who do not have anyone to talk on their behalf. So the only person that they have is them and God. For those of them that believe in God, these are the only person that they have. But the rich people, their money speaks, their power speaks. Yeah, that is just it. So you saying that his family should be deported? Do you think it's going to be possible? Because to me, it's not going to be possible. It's not going to be possible. I think nobody love migrating to another country without a proper documentation, but I think this has to do with cause, financial aspects, because before you can migrate to another country, like you are going to spend a lot. Even aside from the spending, sometimes you might not be granted visa, and your money will be gone. The money you spend, the money you, yeah, everything is going to be gone. And this is why people prefer doing it the other way around. Yeah, so that is that for now. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what are your thoughts. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section. Don't forget to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel in case you haven't subscribed already. So you stay tuned, and see you all in my next episode. Bye.